Hey there viewers, welcome back to Ray of All Trades. Next on the bench is a Stihl BR, it's a 600, trust me. User complained that it was hard to pull over, and just giving it a quick pull, what I noticed is that the starter assembly is loose. The screws fall out of these sometimes if you don't fast tighten them up properly, and then there's also some shoulder standoffs that have to be underneath there, and likely they've fallen out somewhere. Something else that causes it to be really hard to pull over is the valves get out of adjustment. You're supposed to do that annually or more, depending upon if you're a homeowner user or if you're a professional. But it is hard to pull over. And before I mess the plastic gears and plastic teeth up, let's just go ahead and get this right. Go ahead and get the valves adjusted, and then see if we have a problem with it running. So, because no matter what, I'm going to be fixing this thing. So, T27. And well, only one screw, and it doesn't seem to have that standoff either. So let's go ahead and get that fixed first. Since I'm here, let's pull out the two screws on the bottom, get this cover off of there. Add one there. Those two. There should be two up here. I think there's one underneath this air filter cover. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's loose yet. So. Down here. I guess there is one on the bottom. So two screws for the air filter cover. Air filter, pretty dirty, but definitely usable. Like I said, homeowner version, not the not a professional user. Let's see. Actually, I don't think I had to take that the air filter off of this to get that out. Looks like it just came out without it. Spark plug boot. I'll probably end up taking the spark plug out just to make it easier to turn the motor over for adjusting the valves. But one screw there, and I think I have to take off the ground screw on the coil. Should come off. There we go. It's being a little bit stubborn. Pull it out the way. Looks like there's one more screw right down here. Should take that off. Let's plug the plug. Make sure it's 5/8. Yep, 5/8. Running a little bit rich. See if I got another one of those plugs. If not, we'll clean this one up. It's NGK CMR 6H NGK. So I'm going to take this valve cover off. if you have a lot of oil down here, this is dirt, right? If you had a lot of oil there, this would mean that the valve cover, this gasket right here, this cork gasket, would be leaking. So, and this is the part that really gets me on these Stihl blowers. You have to adjust these valves on a regular basis, and it's because the only way to adjust it, there's no keeper, right? It's just literally tightening down these 5/16 screws to your adjustment. So what I do is I turn the motor until one of them's compressed, that one's down. It means this one here is ready to be adjusted. And if you order Stihl part number 41800071005, it'll come with a brand new gasket, and it'll come with the feeler gauge. It's made for this. The feeler gauge is actually got a cutout in it. You'll see that? So that cutout is made to fit in that groove. A normal feeler gauge will not fit, and I can tell you that's way too loose. So there's no keepers. Like I said, there's no keepers on this. So to adjust these valves, literally all you're doing is turning this nut right on top. Back up just a hair. That's about right. Okay, let's go ahead and get this one to compress down. Turn the motor until that one goes down. Once that one's down, compressed, you can adjust this one. Again, way too loose. Still too loose. That feels about right. Okay, let's recheck these. Let's turn this back over. Get that one down. Feels like it's too loose again. It's got a little bit of a drag. Too loose. A little bit of a drag. Let's try it again. That one compressed. There. This is a little bit too tight now. Just a little bit too tight. There we go, a little bit of a drag. And just a little bit of a drag. Alright, so the valves are adjusted. You can usually reuse these cork gaskets as long as they're clean and they haven't cracked and it's not leaking. I don't know. I bought this kit and I've done several of these and I still have the original gasket sitting right there. So should you change it every time? Yeah, probably. But it's not leaking. I like using a regular handled screwdriver or, you know, Torx driver for that, so you don't over tighten it. Let's go ahead and put a new plug in it while we're at it. Let's get this cover back on. We may be coming right back into this thing to see if it needs more work or not. But the simple fact is, what he was complaining about was that it was hard to pull, and a valve adjustment right off the bat would cause that. So rather than messing up all the gears and the plastics and the dogs and everything else, might as well just go ahead and get that taken care of. While we're at it, let's get that coil gapped. Let's loosen the coil. Business card between the coil and the magnet side of the flywheel. Tighten it on down. Turn your flywheel, get your business card out. One there, one there. I'm going to reassemble this while I'm figuring out what to do with the those missing T-handles, or excuse me, the missing spacers. Right now, let's fasten the cover back on. Starter on. So I'll lift that up over the rubber bumpers. Plug back on. Now, if you came to the video just to learn how to do the valve adjustment, you're done. If you want to see how I'm going to fix this, we got just a little bit more work to do. those two screws don't require a spacer. The one up here on the cylinder head, the screw's broken off. So I'm going to try to find a way to adapt that to make it fit. Not sure how to do it yet. Let me dig through my stuff and see what I can come up with. The right thing to do, obviously, since the screw hole is part of the cylinder, would be to replace the cylinder. To my knowledge, it runs pretty good. If it doesn't, that might be one of the things we look at. Right now, all I want to do is anchor this starter to this plastic housing and to here. Right now, it's coming off of this plastic housing, so I'd like to be able to put something behind it. As soon as I figure it out, I'll be back with you guys. Just so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. There, right about the end of here, there's supposed to be threads very similar to this. So this part of the cylinder is broken off where that would screw into. What I'm going to attempt to do, got two really good anchor points right here and right here. I'm thinking about gluing a nut on the back side of this housing to give it something to attach to. Ideally, it won't be anchored all the way to here. But honestly, I don't want to weld on aluminum. I've had terrible luck with it, and I think if we anchor this well, that plastic housing that's anchored here, here with tabs, I think it'll be strong enough to hold it. So anyway, we're going to give it a try, see what happens, and my friend will let me know if it breaks. So stand by. Okay, so what we're going to try, a little bit of epoxy, 5-minute epoxy. Mix it up really good. I found a nut that matches the threads for those same bolt holes. We're going to try to put this epoxy. I cleaned this up with some brake cleaner too on the plastic. It helps it basically melt and everything. Let's get that soaked up on there pretty good, because I'm going to come make sure that I pull that excess out. Let's drop that nut right in the center of that so it doesn't get on the threads. And then pile that epoxy up around the outside of it. And hopefully it lives up to its name. So I'll just put the nut right here in the middle. The nut right here in the middle. We've got epoxy around it. The epoxy is not blocking the threads. Made sure that a Torx head bit screw fits that threads on that nut. Once it's on here and we tighten it down, there's a chance that epoxy will crack. But honestly, all it has to do is mash the two together. So ideally, if it doesn't crack, then next time you take it off, it'll be a good. If it does, then we may end up looking to have to find a better way to fasten this. But like I said, right now, the starter pull handle we anchored to this piece of plastic. The other two are actually anchored into the cylinder itself. Yeah, if I can save it without having to rebuild the entire motor, we save some money, we save some time. Perfect fix? No. But I mean, I think it'll do for what it's trying to do. So I'll get back to you as soon as this is dry. We'll give it a try. Okay, what I've done, epoxied a nut right here on the inside, and it's not quite dry enough because I can still feel a little bit of tackiness to it. 5-minute epoxy, I guess maybe that's the absolute minimum. But anyway, I'm gonna let it dry. What I'm gonna do is just put the other two screws in to start it with, and see how it runs. And then if it's good to go and I don't have to take it back apart, then I can just put the screw in at the very end. Like I said, I'm not going to put that screw in just yet. and the nut's on the back side of there. So I'm just going to gently test it, make sure that it does what it's supposed to do. If it does, after it dries, we will give it a, oh yeah, it's actually pulling easier already. We'll put that screw in at the very, very end. Because if I can let it dry, there's a better chance of it holding. Right now, I know I can put the screw in, it'll sandwich them together, but it'll break the epoxy. So it'd be nice if it dried, and then it won't have to be fixed again. So let's see if I can make this thing run. It had gas in it, so I'm not really sure how old the gas is. Hey guys, so this is kind of funny. Runs great. Started on what, first pull, second pull? Because I got sidetracked because it wouldn't shut off, and something that I messed with definitely impacts that. Let's find out if I forgot to put the screw or the wire back on, or if it came loose somewhere else. I'll show you here in just. And for those of you wondering how I shut it off without the shut-off working, I just pulled the spark plug boot and held it away. Not recommending anybody do it because sometimes it shocks you, but it looks like those are hooked up. So what happens is this wire is supposed to go to that trigger up front. When you push the trigger down, it's supposed to come back that exact same wire and then come back and hit this ground lug right here. So we're going to grab a meter real fast and see if that's what's occurring. So we should not have a connection right now. If I go here to here, should not have a connection. If I push the stop lever, it should. And it's not, definitely not working. Let's start tracing our wires back. Getting it there. Let's move further up the line and see if we get it there. Not seeing it there either. somewhere between this end of the wire and that end of the wire is a break, meaning that the wire is actually open. You just never know what you're going to get when you start tearing into something. So that's why I kind of wanted to go ahead and fire it up, even though it wasn't complete, so I can start or continue working on the rest of the problems. So this button right here is the kill switch. When I push it down, it's supposed to make two pieces of metal touch together. It makes one wire coming up, touch to the other one, and goes back down to the ground. That's not working. So let's take this handle off, see if we can figure out what's going on. I love this little torch driver bit. I will try to link it in the description. I'm manned at magnetizing these things to make it a little easier. Made by Pro Torque. Apart without breaking anything. So I'm going to push this down. I am pushing a switch. And I can hear it clicking. So that's the throttle cable. Alright, this is the throttle cable. We've got, oh okay, there's a second wire in there. I was trying to figure out what this was for, this rusted out piece of wire, because it doesn't connect to anything metal, right? But there's a pretty good chance that what it does connect to, or this connection in here, is all rusted solid. So let's compress this spring. Pull it out. Let's take this out and then take out our throttle. Just like that. Okay, I like putting them down in order that I took them out. So take the throttle cable out the way. And we have a blue wire and a black wire, and those two wires go up to that cherry switch. Cherry switch is a name. Anyway, there's a switch right here that when I push on it, it's engaging that little switch back there. You guys can see it. Anyway, I'm fairly confident that this rusty connection right here is likely our problem. I'm guessing that rusty piece of wire had something to do, maybe a ground, you know, the handle ground, but there's no metal there, so I'm not really sure why they did it. Verify that the switch works like it's supposed to now, with that temporarily hooked up, before we go crazy hooking up other eyelets and stuff. I'm still not getting a connection. So now what I want to do is ohm the wires out. So let's grab the blue lead and go to the blue lead. So blue actually makes its way through. I need to expose the cherry switch. Looks like the best I'm going to be able to do is cut a little shaving off of here to expose the wire. That's going to be the black wire to the black wire here. And I do not have a connection. Oh, I'm sorry, I do have a connection. Is it possible that I wasn't making a good connection before? Let's put the meter back into the leads. I could have a bad switch. Because that's still not working. I should have a decent connection right now. Because on the black wire, I have connection. Like I said before, on the blue wire, to my junction, I have a connection. Let's just see if this wire is broken further up, if we can try it. There. So now I'm beyond my twisted connection here. Yep, I'm good there. So what's happening is between this lead this lead, The switch isn't working. Yep, the kill switch stopped working. Alright, let me see if I have any cherry switches. Momentary switches that I can swap this out with. I'm going to dig it through my parts. Y'all give me a minute. So I found something. I found a Cherry brand switch. This is where the Cherry switch name comes from. See, it's across there. The holes, the mounting holes, seem to line up just about right. And then that appears to be about the same distance. So the arm itself. So let's verify that this is normally open. Contact. Energize the switch. Does what it's supposed to do. Alright. Shrink. Trying to get a messy bench here. I just need enough to get the job done, and I'll put the stuff away. Just got a little heat shrink on there. Just to protect what I just pierced. Get the leads tinned. All that, I'm gonna go ahead and get those soldered together too. The acid from the solder helps. I should say the flux, because this is not actually acid core. It took a lot of effort to get that to tape. Let's tin the leads real fast. As far as the cherry switch goes, doesn't have any holes in it, so let's put some solder on the leads so we can make those stick. those have a ball of solder. Clarity doesn't matter on these. What does matter is having a steady hand. And I do not right now. If we're good, I should be making connection now. Yep, this crimp ring on there, I have no idea why, and it's on there. There we go. Let's get rid of some of these extra tools. And hopefully I remember how to put all this back together. So that wire is just a tad too short. It's getting colorful here. So there's a little bit of solder on the contacts here, a little bit of solder on the wire. I'm going to heat up both of them together. Try not to burn my hands. Once the solder melts, then try to get away without moving. There it is. All right, let's try this again. Line up the little tabs in there. I should say blue wire slash red wire slash green. And you use what you got, right? So now that goes on. Trigger goes on. That appears to work. Let's see if we can figure that one out. So that's throttle, and then all the way down would be the stop position. So let's figure out where. Oh, never mind. It's got a keyway on it. We know which way it goes. It only fits one way. I just think it's activating too soon. I would think it should be down there to activate the kill switch. And the trigger's already done. So let's modify that switch just a little bit. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that's just about perfect. Okay. Camera always dies right at the most opportune time. Okay, got the cable back in, got the spring back on. I hope that's where it goes. That's back in. So right now, if I put the kill switch down, I can hear the cherry switch engage. If I pull the trigger and I move the switch to the up position, it locks the trigger in place. So I put it back down. Again, I'm going to go down here to the kill switch. That works. So I believe I'm good here. If I can hold all this together while I put it back on. Fight me a little bit. Alright, what do we got? That's pretty close. Let's put it together, see if it works. See. Shake that wire and that wire. Excellent. Trigger works like it's supposed to. Locks on. Actually works better than before I took it apart. As a matter of fact. Okay. My day's getting away from me here. Alright, just in case this works, I went ahead and fastened that side. We're going to try to put this cover on one piece. It's not the way it's supposed to go. We're going to try it. Feels like it'll grab. So, what we came for was pull starter. Being hard to pull, and this being loose. So I think with the valve adjustment and that, we might have got it. So we're going to check it, even though it's dark outside. We're going to go check and see what it's doing. Let's see. I'm going to go, because I've already run it once, I'm going to try to go fast idle versus full choke for a puller tube. Switch back to middle. I think we got it. BR600. Replace the switch inside the handle, make the kill work. Fix the starter. And do a little bit of fabrication. It should work just fine for what he's trying to do. Homeowner grade, or homeowner use, I should say. This thing's already had a pretty good, healthy life, or a lot of use already. But I think it should be good for another season, and hopefully he's happy with it. So you guys learn anything from it? Appreciate a thumbs up, subscribe, helps the channel tremendously. And as always, catch you on the next one. Thanks for hanging out, guys.